So hello, I welcome you as all days that I do this to show up just as you are. Take a moment, close your eyes or open your eyes, just take in your surroundings, take in the way your body feels, take in what's going on in your mind and your heart, and see if you can just relax into it to the best of your ability. Accept reality as it is, and just be here now, feeling however it is you feel. We'll just take a few moments to take a few breaths. Feel our bodies however they feel. Adjusting our sitting position. One of the things that I would always recommend is you can have a straight spine. And if you need to have back support, that is fine. But even if you're having back support, it's really great if you have a straight spine. That being said, meditation practices can be done in any position. They can be done while walking or laying down or slouching or standing. But it is generally agreed upon that a straight spine helps the energy flow through your nervous system. So if you're just thinking on a physical level, the nervous system, it's all going through your spine. You know, your brain is in your head, but it's really all of your nerves throughout your whole body. And the straighter your spine is, the more open it is, the more the signals, the energy can flow. So it's always finding that balance between an attentive posture and relaxation. So today we're going to do a practice that I know from Taoism, and it is called the inner smile. The inner smile, when I first started doing it, the way I understood it, and because of my history with massage therapy and having studied, taken anatomy classes and so on and so forth, it took me an hour to do it because I was trying to go through every part of my body. And then when I told a Taoist teacher that, after doing it at that point for a year, taking an hour every time I did it, my Taoist teacher was like, "What are you talking about? I do it in like 30 seconds. And I've read books that talk about doing it in different ways. So just know that, like with all the things that I'm teaching, there is no right or wrong way to do it. You can do it however it feels good to you. And we're going to start with the minimal amount of concepts and the simplest version, although it will be kind of long because I'm teaching it. But remember, you can do this when you get good at it almost automatically. So the way that I always like to start this is briefly imagine encountering somebody that I know and love. Usually someone I haven't seen for a while is the fantasy, and that could be someone I haven't seen for a couple days, or somebody I haven't seen for a couple years, but somebody that I like. And so when I see them, it makes me smile. And again, because I practiced this for a long time, it comes automatically to me. But when you start, you might have to find a person, you might have to imagine, but you want to start with really anything that makes a happiness come to your heart naturally. So if that to you is looking out over the Grand Canyon, or watching a sunset, or playing with a dog, whatever your thing is, find something that brings a spontaneous happiness to your heart and take a moment to indulge in that. Imagine that fantasy. Again, like the one that I was using at the beginning is if you imagine seeing someone you haven't seen for a while and you're happy to see them, and you take that feeling that comes to your face, your mouth and your eyes is usually where you feel it, right? And you really just try to let that feeling expand. that can, the expansion of a feeling like this, an emotional resource, could be, imagine it flowing out of your mouth and eyes into your whole body. This could be the simplest form of the inner smile. You bring up the sensation of the feeling of a smile, and you just let that permeate your whole body. And then the idea of this, as it's taught in martial arts or Qigong teaching, is that you carry this feeling inside of you all the time. Which is why it's called the inner smile. You don't necessarily need to walk around with a big grin on your face, but you understand the feeling of smiling, and then you internalize it and let it just kind of shine from the inside of you. So we're just going to do this for about a minute, right? I just want you to feel a smile and feel it spreading through your body. Now, the actual teaching of this talks about giving special attention to parts of your body. So again, the simplest form of whatever works for you is what you should practice. And the more that it becomes easy for you and it no longer is an effort, that's where you want to be. You want to be so like it's just natural and it happens. After studying this for a year and then I started reading about it more, one of the things that Mantak Chia said in one of his books was, it's a great practice to do when you wake up in the morning before you open your eyes. So when you notice you're awake in the morning, you haven't yet opened your eyes, to do an inner smile. And that's the way that I did that practice for maybe 3 years, every day, waking up. I would notice, sometimes I would blink my eyes open first, but I really liked it when I could catch it before I opened my eyes, and I just did the inner smile. Of course, we're going to get a little bit more elaborate, right? So a simple, still keeping this with less concepts, we're going to start applying it to specific areas. So again, maybe close your eyes, return to that trigger of a smile, whatever you use to give yourself the sensation of a smile. Feel that smile on your lips and your eyes. And bring it down to your heart. Now, how do you do that? So some people like the idea of, some people just do it automatically, which is why I just wanted to take a few seconds, a few moments and just not say anything. But you can envision your smile, your eyes and your mouth going down into your heart, if that makes sense to you and if that works. If you want to, you can use your hands. Try to feel the sensation of the happy smile on your face and bring it down to your heart. You find what works for you. One of the things that might work is taking your eyes and looking down at your heart. With your eyes closed, you look down at your heart and smile with your mouth like you're happy to see someone. Hi, it's nice to see you, but you're doing it to your heart. And when you're smiling into an organ in your body, it's really nice if you take a moment to feel what your organ feels like. So in this case, the heart. We're going to look at the heart. We're going to smile. It's nice to see you. I love you. Thank you for pumping blood through my body. Those kind of feelings and those kind of thoughts. And then just feel how the heart feels. This goes along with one of the friendliest things that we can do is just to listen and be present, right? So if we go into these parts of our body and just smile at them, friendly, open our attention and our kindness to them, and then see how they feel. And no feeling is right or wrong or good or bad. It's okay. So keeping this simple, let's go from smiling to our heart to smiling to our, let's smile to our lungs. That's an easy organ for everybody to envision, right? You can picture your lungs. And again, just be friendly. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for all the air. And then just listen and feel. How do your lungs feel? Then I think I'm going to take it in this direction. Notice anywhere in your body that's speaking to you now with this simplest version of inner smile. So when I say speaking to you, I probably mean pain. I probably mean tightness or discomfort. And just see, like, if it's your neck or your shoulders, just smile at your neck and shoulders. And again, this isn't about controlling your neck and shoulders, not about fixing your neck and shoulders. It's just about feeling and being present with this kindness and presence. So just see if you can contain or continue that smiling energy. The lungs, the heart, and somewhere that's speaking to you, your back or your knees or your shoulder, neck. This is something that naturally happens for me and I haven't put into words yet. The smile tends to bring light for me. There's like a brightness, happiness. So in this case, like I smiled into my neck and shoulders and they became brighter. So if that makes any sense to you and if it feels good, see if you can bring a little light into the neck and shoulders or into wherever your body wants you to put some attention. Now again, with less concepts, let's just go down into our digestion. So we've just had like a heart and lungs focus and then an open body awareness. You can do the open body awareness inner smile infinitely because there's always things in your body that want attention, that want to feel better, that want some love and kindness. So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're bringing kind, loving, friendly attention to our bodies or even our energy field. But when I say into your digestion, you can just put that into your belly and see where it goes. You can put it into specifically your stomach or your intestines. If you have a background in anatomy, you can go through all of your organs, which I will recommend doing later. But right now, let's just put it in our belly and whatever we can imagine about our digestion. We're smiling, we're thanking our organs for digesting. Mm. And we're just feeling how they feel. Mm. Mm. Now let's take this energy and bring it to our muscles. So again, if you have a background in anatomy, you can go into each specific muscle if you like. But right now we're just going to do blanket muscles. So again, wherever our attention goes, or you can try to visualize all the muscles in your body, like glowing red or whatever your mind does with that, and smile and just feel how your muscles feel and thank them for the work they do. Mm. Mm. And likewise, we can carry this into our bones. So again, just imagine your bones, anywhere your mind goes, or if you have a good basis in anatomy, you can go piece by piece. Thank you, bones. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you for holding me up. How you doing, bones? Do you have anything to say? Okay, so that's the simplest version of the inner smile. You can go through your skin, you can go through your hair, you can go through all these specific parts, or you can just blanket, smile, feel your whole body, just try to feel the radiation of the happy, friendly, attentive energy spreading throughout your body. And you can go where your attention is drawn, where your attention calls to you, where your body wants attention. And it's something you can do for 30 seconds or an hour or for the rest of your life in every moment. It's a very nice, simple practice. So for those of you who want to stay tuned in, I encourage you to keep doing this practice as I speak. Maybe noticing your ears, noticing your eyes, smiling, and try to just carry that gentle smile energy as you listen and maybe as you try to follow along in the more conceptual stuff I speak of. So, okay, Taoism is where we get Tai Chi and Qigong from, the famous yin yang symbol, which is called the Tai Chi 2 in some phrasing. Has a lot to do with this energy of the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative, black and white, masculine and feminine, all dualities that can be split into a duality. It's how those energies work together and balance. So we're looking for a happy, friendly, balancing energy in our body. One of the concepts in Taoism is that where the mind goes, the qi flows. Qi, for those of you who don't know, is a way of talking about the smallest possible energy that makes up everything that exists. So if you know anything about quantum mechanics, you know that all of the things that seem solid break down into energy the smaller you look. So it's kind of like that. Maybe qi is referring to strings in string theory. Maybe it's whatever. So we want to imagine that everything in reality, this is the proper posture for doing Qigong, everything in reality is made up of Qi, vibrating at different organizations and different densities. So even our body, which seems so solid, is mostly empty space and light, energy, electromagnetic fields, so on and so forth. So what posture we hold our mind in patterns that energy. And if we go through life using our body to do important things, work, cleaning the house, doing the dishes, doing the laundry, whatever, and we don't have a sense of gratitude, friendliness, and care and attentiveness towards the energy that we are using to do that, it can generate a lot of sickness, illness, tiredness, fatigue, resentment, right? So imagine that your body is a slave and it's something you're forcing to do all these things, and that doesn't feel good, right? It hurts your heart right away. If you feel like, oh, am I treating my body like it's a slave to me? Am I not being kind? Am I not taking care of it? Not being friendly? So on one level, that's part of what we're doing here by making it a concerted effort to be kind and friendly and attentive, bring that energy into the minutia of our being. We're balancing how often we take our body for granted and just force it to do things that it doesn't want to do. You know, think of how many times you've had to work when you were exhausted and in pain. So that's part of what we're doing here to balance that. It's not something that you should feel ashamed of. It's something that just happens in life. So by bringing an awareness to it, you can go, oh, okay, I love you, body. Thank you for all you do. And again, if you make an effort at it for a while, then it will become more automatic. And you can just do it 10,000 times throughout the day in little ways. So that's one conceptual level. Another conceptual level here is that if we just talk about the bones and the muscles, the tissues, the hair, the skin, that doesn't require a ton of the Taoist concepts. You can bring this kindness and friendliness and energy into the bones and into the muscles and into the organs in a blanket way, and it is good and it is beneficial. However, if you have some of the 5-element theory, you can tweak it more to bring in a type of positive offset, which is mostly the way that I do the inner smile, right? So the inner smile can be a conceptually free practice, or it can be one where you're pushing a little energy. And that's good, but you also want to remember that you're just being friendly and listening, being present too. So this second part of the inner smile is sometimes called the positive creation cycle, which is, doesn't have as clear a ring to it. So if we start with a smile and we bring it down to our heart, the heart is what is considered the fire element, and it is considered the master organ of the body. It radiates energy that affects all the other organs stronger than any other organ does. However, in this creation cycle, if there's negative energies, it affects all of the organs. So if there's positive energy put into this creation cycle, it affects all of the organs in a good way, which then radiates out to all the other tissues. So the heart's the master organ, and its positive emotions are gratitude, happiness, love, and patience. So it's kind of got a quiet, loving, warm, radiating energy. And I say quiet and patient. I want to emphasize that because one of the negative emotions of the heart is overjoy, which I translate as mania. And I don't know if it's exactly the same thing, but if you imagine that if you're overly happy, then it can cause your heart to burn a little too hot, right? So the heart is fire, but everyone knows that if it gets too hot, you have problems with your heart, palpitations, heart attacks, those kind of things. So we like to keep this patient happiness, this quiet, loving gratitude. It doesn't need to be turned up to 11. So smile into the heart, give that friendly, attentive energy, and bring a little bit of gratitude, perhaps, happiness. Push the emotion a little bit. So you might need to use a word. That's what I do. I start with saying gratitude. I might say, I'm grateful for everything in my life, grateful for the life I have, or I might be specific. I'm grateful that I'm fed. I'm grateful that I'm sheltered. I'm grateful I have enough money, those kind of things. And you try to feel the emotion. So again, we're not trying to get hung up on the words. We're trying to feel the emotion. So we smile into the heart, bring that energy into the heart, and then bring in, we listen to the heart. Try to feel, picture, see, feel the heart. And then we bring in more gratitude, happiness, and love. I love you. I love you. I love you. Now in this creation cycle, earth comes after fire. The idea that in a lot of ancient Asian practices, you would burn the farm fields after the harvest, and that would fertilize the earth for the next growth cycle. That's one of the metaphors that's used. So earth follows fire. Fire creates earth. So the earth organs that we're going to look at are the spleen and pancreas. Now, the spleen is not something that everybody knows where it is. It's underneath the left side of your rib cage. So it's to the left side of your stomach, the organ of the stomach, not the abdomen. And the pancreas is to the right side of the stomach. The stomach is also an earth organ, but it's the yang organ. We're starting with the yin organ. So we're just going to try to picture the area of the spleen and the pancreas. There's two organs here because they always focused on the spleen, but science has shown them that the pancreas does more what they always thought the spleen did. So they include both of those as the yin earth organs. So we smile into this like pancreas spleen area. Pancreas is again right under the heart. It's like, and spleen is to the left side of the rib cage, lower left rib cage. And again, you can put your hands there. I don't know, you can't really see where the camera is right now, but I sometimes will put my hands on the organs if I need to get a extra perception of what I'm trying to feel. And we're smiling into those organs and trying to feel them. See how they feel. Thank them for the work they do. I didn't say this with the heart before. I was talking about the heart as being fire and the color's red. Earth is yellow, color's yellow. So you can also bring some yellow energy into that. And then in this system, the earth creates metal. So their 5-element system, they have metal and wood, as opposed to if you've studied any alchemical systems, in most of the West, we have 4 elements of fire, air, earth, and water. But in this situation, it is fire, earth, metal, water, wood. So you don't need to worry about that too strongly. We're more focusing on the elements, the organs right now. So the positive emotions of the earth, which I didn't give words to, are trust, faith, groundedness. So you can say things like, I trust myself, or I trust the world. Faith is a word that kind of triggered me when I first started doing this because I associated it with my Catholic upbringing and Christianity, which I don't like the feeling of that. But in my study, I found that faith is kind of the beliefs you have that you don't question, the beliefs you have that you just rely on, which is really what this earth energy talks about, this ability to just rest on the earth and be supported by the earth. And you can find what that means to you when you have faith, like that the earth is a good place, it's a safe place. If you're just in a human situation, that, this life is okay. I go to okay a lot. The earth is a balanced organ, so it's about like, to me, I really like the phrase, undoubtedly the universe is unfolding as it should. And that's a faith I like to go to, that there always appears to be things that are problematic, but ultimately in the great work of time, it will all find its balance. So you just try to rest into this sensation of trust, faith, groundedness, everything is okay. And smile, trying to let that energy shine and radiate. And again, if you feel a tightness or a pain, it's not about pushing that out of the way. There are other practices that can help clear it, but right now we're just being with and supplying good energy. So in this system, again, metal comes after earth. The idea here is that the earth compresses over time, and it makes rock, and that turns into metal ore that then can be refined. Metal in this situation, I haven't talked about this in the other elements, but metal is the skin, and I always think of it like that because it's like a suit of armor that we're wearing, which that's why I bring my metal sense to that it protects us from the outside. It's where we end and where the outside begins. The metal organ, the yin metal organ, is the lungs. And if you think along the lines of when you're breathing, you're intimately bringing the outside world into your body and then taking something inside your body and spreading it to the outside world. So I always think that that's such it's this boundary thing. It's a filtration. It's a arbitration between inside, outside, self, and world. So try to smile into the lungs, feel the lungs. The color of the metal in this system is silvery or just white. So we can bring some white light energy into our lungs, feel how the lungs are feeling, just listen to them, thank them, and the positive emotions associated with the lungs are courage, bravery. One of the words that it often gets translated into is righteousness, which again, I don't like from my upbringing, but the way I have come to find a good way to be with that word is knowing that there is a energy of good in the world. And of course, this is relative, but still believing there's a sense of good in the world and that I am connected to it. One of the other words for the metal positive emotions are integrity. So I am integrated, I am aligned with the goodness in the world. So try to feel what that feels like. I'm aligned with the goodness of the world. I am a force of good. And I have the bravery and the courage to do what needs to be done. See if you can bring those emotions into the lungs. A little bit of white light, friendly smile. Mm. So in this system, water comes after metal. There's a sense of metal has a cold nature to it, so water condenses on it. There's a sense of mountains are of that metal element, and clouds hit them and the rain comes down. So the yin water element, or the yin water organ, is the kidneys, which is at the lower back of the rib cage. So if you can picture where your rib cage ends, you don't need to exactly know where it is, but where your rib cage ends in your back, kidneys are there on either side of your spine. So see if you can feel your kidneys, smile into them. Hello kidneys, how you doing? Thank you for all you do. Hmm. The color of water in the system is a dark blue or black. Hmm. And the positive emotions associated with water are peace, silence, and wisdom. If you can actually be at peace in silence, you can have wisdom. So whatever that feels like, see if you can bring that energy to the kidneys. Hmm. And there's tons of information about all these elements and all these organs and all these things. Like I said about the metal, it also incorporates the skin. They also associate with senses. So water is the ears and hearing. And when I try to nourish my kidneys, I often do a practice where I listen to the sound field. Notice whatever it is I can hear. And then remind myself that behind all of those sounds is silence. All of the sounds that we are hearing are happening within a field of silence that we take for granted. And so when I'm nourishing my kidneys, I will put my attention in my ears and I will listen to the silence behind all the noises. And I bring that silence and that peace to the kidneys with a smile. And in this system, water nourishes wood, right? So the water flowing into rivers, that flow into lakes, that flow into oceans, obviously it's flowing underneath the earth everywhere we are as well. It's raining. So we can imagine the water flowing in these ways, either through the rain, through the sky, or through the earth, to all the wood, which obviously is trees. That's the yang wood, big trees. The yin wood would be, I don't know, bushes, plants, flowers, grasses, things like that, little things. So the organ of wood, the main organ of wood in the body is the liver. For those of you who don't know, it's a very large organ underneath the right side of your rib cage. So it's on the upper right side. When I say upper right side, like where your right arm is, up into the rib cage a little bit, but mostly filling up the abdomen on the right side. So yes, there is the large intestine there, the appendix, and all these other things, but this big space here is filled with the liver. So we're going to look into the liver, bring it that wood color of green, a healthy, happy green. Smile into the liver. Thank you for everything you do, liver. How are you doing? And just see if you can feel the liver and you can be attentive to it. Friendliness. Now, the positive emotions associated with wood are friendliness, kindness, compassion, generosity, abundance, and creativity. So Again, see if you can get a feel for that, the idea that you have abundance, you have more than enough, all the fruits on your branches that you can share with everything around you, all those nuts that all the squirrels can eat if they want, it's fine. There's enough. There's more than enough. So see if you can bring a little bit of that kind of kindness, generosity. Compassion here is, being aware that people need love and attention and kindness and patience and those kind of things. So being aware of that, an intelligent kindness, I suppose. And just try to let some of that energy just radiate through the liver. Oh. And this is a very good speed to do this kind of positive creation cycle, inner smile, at when you're first starting, because it's very important that you spend time developing a relationship with these organs, where they are, what they look like, what they feel like, how you doing, listening. And that when you use these words to trigger these positive emotions, that you don't rush through it, that you spend the time feeling what that feels like. What does kindness really feel like? What does gratitude really feel like? And then, like that smile, you give it a chance to radiate through the body, radiate through the organs, radiate through the face, and become quiet and subtle and just a part of your normal, all the time demeanor. And when you do practice this regularly, you can just close your eyes, smile into your heart, and those emotions will naturally arise. Maybe it just takes the tiniest gratitude and it just shows up. And then you just look in your spleen and pancreas and say, trust, faith. You go into the lungs, like courage, integrity, goodness, righteousness, bravery. And then you go into the kidneys and you find peace, silence, stillness. Then you go into the liver. You find kindness, generosity. And you go into the heart, you find happiness and love. And that's the thing, putting any of these emotions into this creation cycle, if you try to apply logic to it, it's very easy to think that if you have a happiness and love in your heart, then it can create a world where you feel like you can trust everyone because you're loving and happy. And if you can trust everyone, then you can feel like you're in a position of your integrity. You can be in integrity when you're in a safe place and everybody's happy and loving. You can be in integrity, you can do what needs to be done. And if you feel like you have that sense of bravery and courage and feel like you can do what needs to be done in a good way, you can be at peace, you can be still, you can be silent, if you value those things. And from a place of peace, it's really easy to be generous and compassionate and kind to people. And when you can be kind and generous and compassionate, it's really easy to be happy. So I'm going to look at this time real quick. Great, we got about 15 minutes. How did I do this for an hour then? So what did I do to do this for an hour? So the details of the 5 elements and the organs, right? I had mentioned a couple of the associations as we went through. So I'm just going to go through it really quick. The fire, yin organ is the heart, the yang organ is the small intestine. Fire is red. Fire is also the blood, the circulatory system. And fire is also the tongue in the sense of taste. So a lot of stuff in there, and you can play with those if any of those key off to you, because sometimes you can just do the inner smile through your senses. It's always good to appreciate your senses, right? It's so nice. So much of what we experience in the world is coming through our senses. So it's good to appreciate, be kind and friendly, and smile into those. Earth, as I said before, is yellow. It's the spleen and the pancreas, so the yin organs. The yang organ is the organ of the stomach. The sense is the sense of touch, right? Where it is on your face is your lips, which is the most sensitive part of the body. The other organ system that it associates with is the muscles. So all the muscles are the earth of your body. The metal, which is your lungs, the yin organ is the lungs, and the color is the color is silver or white. The yang organ is the large intestine. So that those are very heavily associated. The organ is the skin, and the sense is the sense of smell and breathing. The water is what follows metal, and water, the yin is the kidneys. The yang is the bladder. And the urinary organs, we can call them that, the urinary organs, the genitals, are water when they are not sexualized, because the urination flows out of them. So the glands are kind of a different system, and they're very good to smile into, actually, if you have any awareness of where all the glands are in your body, your pineal, pituitary, testicles or ovaries, mammaries, adrenals. Smiling into your glands is a very good practice. But anyway, when the water element is, your genitals are your water when they're not sexualized, because they're seen as more part of the urinary system. The other big system of your body associated with water is your bones, and the sense is the hearing and the ears. The color is dark blue or black. And the wood element, the main organ associated with it is the liver. That's the yin organ, and the yang organ is the gallbladder. The sense is seeing in the eyes, and the bigger body system is the tendons or the fascia. So all of the tissue in the body that holds everything together, holds the skin to the muscles to the muscles, the muscles to the bones, keeps all the organs in place, the fascia that holds everything together. That's kind of the wood system. And seeing. And then there is a second fire system that has to do with more specific Taoist organs, like the pericardium, the covering of the heart, the triple burner, the organizing of how the heat moves through your system. But don't worry about that, because that takes a lot more. But all these things are nice details that you can work with if they are attractive to you. Similarly, if you have a background in anatomy and you can picture every bone in your body, like the way that the inner smile was first taught to me was to smile into the face, smile into the heart, then smile through the yin organs, which would be heart, spleen, pancreas, lungs, kidneys, liver, and then smile through the yang organs or the digestive organs, which would be small intestine, stomach, large intestine, bladder, gallbladder. And then smile into the spine specifically and try to go vertebrae by vertebrae. So you could start with the sacrum and then really try to feel and smile into that sacrum, and then go into the first lumbar and really try to feel and smile into that lumbar, and go piece by piece, counting the blessings, as he called it, counting each vertebrae and really trying to feel it, listen to it, give it love and attention and happiness and a smile, going up all the way to the neck, and then smiling into the whole skull. And then, because again, my background of being a masseur, I smiled into the clavicle, the hyoid, down through the arms into all the tarsals and metatarsals. Then I smiled through each rib and down into the hip bones and down through the leg bones and into the feet and the tarsals and metatarsals of the feet. Really great practice. It can take a really long time to try to picture what it feels like, where it is, and then listen to it and give it friendly attention and love. Really good practice. Highly recommend it if you have that background or that imagination. And then I would smile through the skin, or I would smile through each of the muscles. Sorry. So I'd go through the bones, then I would go through the muscles, then I would go through the glands, then I would go through the skin and the hair. And it's a practice that I did while walking, while laying down, while sitting. When I was on the Camino, is when I first, before I did the Camino, I think it was that same year, it was when I first learned this practice. And so I would do this for an hour when I was walking on the Camino. And that's, a different experience to do it while walking. But in reality, we can bring kind, caring attention to everything we're doing at every moment. So remember, it is really good to do any kind of meditation practice in a formal, sitting, attentive, silent, safe kind of way. But it's really, really effective to bring it into everyday movement and everyday life. And especially if you're relating to other people, like being able to feel that inner smile and just let it radiate through you. And sometimes it's really helpful when you think of someone else, when you're interacting with someone else, to feel that inner smile in yourself and then really shine it at them. So you can imagine you're radiating that smile at them, not just from your lips and eyes, but from your heart, from your belly, from all your bones. And when you get really good at it, and you have it as when you've trained your nervous system to respond to it, then it becomes a trigger. Then you can just think, okay, I'm going to do the inner smile now. And you just feel it radiate through all of your bones. So just like the beginning, how we started, the simplest, easiest, just smile and then let that radiate throughout your whole body. After you've done the complex and all of the concepts, you can do the exact same thing. It just has a lot more detail. But both of them are very good. And let's do it for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll sign off for today. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm glad you're here. I want you to be well. Mm. Mm. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your goodwill, generosity, and kindness. Much love to you. And may the ending of 2024 be peaceful. May this new moon help you let go of anything that you no longer need to carry with you. May the beginning of the next year fill you with hope, happiness, kindness, generosity, peace, trust, sense of safety, and generosity and goodwill to others. Thank you very much. Love you.